Hello and welcome to the last plague. Blight. That end part there. Hopefully you've gone through my quote unquote episode 0, my little primer for how a lot of the interactions work. Now I'm still going to be talking a lot about what I'm seeing and what I'm doing, but today and in this episode we're going to want to make our way down here to this area. Hopefully it's going to be flat. We want to stick to the river. The river's going to have clay. We're going to need clay. And the things that we're going to be picking up right now are going to be... We're going to move this there. We want dog bait. All right. And we're going to be looking for a flint stone, a sandstone, which I already found one. That's good. But we're going to be looking for a large flintstone, a small flintstone. And as we're walking, we can grab small stones, but I'm pretty sure that the area that I'm going to is going to have a lot of small stones, so we don't need it. Now, I did hit Alt to turn on this little notification thing that lets me see where everything is. And I'm going to be collecting a lot of dogbane because we're going to need it to turn it into rope. So let's keep moving. Oh, man. Am I going to have to cross the river? I really don't want to. But it looks like the plague... we might be able to walk past it. And might not be. Might have to cross the river. Now, you definitely don't want to be crossing rivers and stuff too much. Part of the reason for that is when you cross a body of water, things in your bags, things in your hands, they get wet. And unfortunately, things as they dry will rust, which means their condition will worsen. So we want to definitely avoid as much as possible trying to cross this river. So I'm going to hug the bank and hopefully not get hit by the blight. I'm going to go ahead and grab some chamomile while I'm there. We won't need it really quite early on, but I might as well. It's in my way and it doesn't occupy that much space. So once we pass Grimsby, that was an interesting interaction. Right. We want the bergamot, want dogbane. Now, the nice thing is there's a plain area here, kind of, sort of. We have trees. Now, the other thing that I'm interested in is whether or not this area is going to be decently flat. It doesn't look like it, which is kind of unfortunate. And then there's a blight spot over there. Fortunately, setting straight up inside the forest is not great when it comes to setting up traps. Because forests have deer, and deer take up spots for rabbit traps. I might actually just make the crossing, even though I don't really want to, just so that I can be in this spot here. It's a decently flat spot. You're going to notice now that we've crossed the river. See, everything's wet. It's going to tell you, rusts while drying. Well, not great, but unfortunate. I can't get rid of this stupid tree, but this is a decently flat spot here. We'll be able to build. It's against the river, so we can collect some water. And there's plenty of trees around, so this will definitely be the place to be. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab some stones. That way I can follow the directions of our lovely tutorial. It's going to want us to collect a bunch of small stones. I'm also going to collect long sticks, and the reason I'm going to collect long sticks is because I'm going to need them for making some spears so that we can have some kind of defense. Unfortunately, I have not seen, I haven't really explored as much as I would like to, but I've not seen any flint. Very close. We're still collecting dogbane. Now, something that I talked about in my primer episode 0, if you hold T, you'll pick up everything around you. Oh, here's a piece of flint. Nice. That is going to be really sweet to have. I'm going to grab this large stone as well. Just one at least. And we technically should have enough small stones already to do what we got to do. The one thing with holding T is it's going to pick up everything around you. All of it. Even if it's things you don't want to pick up. So, like right there I picked up a mushroom. That I'm going to drop on the ground because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be one of the good mushrooms. Let me see. Actually gives me a little bit of food. Okay. Like that. Now, I did get a little bit of blight. Just a tiny bit because that mushroom was contaminated. Keep that in mind. Certain foods will be contaminated with blight. Now, I don't see a large piece of flint, unfortunately. We don't need it quite yet, but eventually we will. And it's going to tell you, avoid blight at all costs. So, the more blight you have, the more you're going to use up or the slower your stamina recharge is going to be, the more food and water you will consume. So you definitely... Oh, wild garlic. Real close by. That's good. That is very good. Alright, we are going the wrong way. Let's go this way. I'm still going to try to collect some dogbane on the way. We have enough space for dogbane. We do. So we definitely want to avoid the blight spots. Go back to the area where we were going to be setting up camp. Alright. We have all our stuff on the ground here. I'm going to turn that alt button off. And now we're going to right click on the small stones. It's going to give us a menu. And I'm going to hit build with. That's going to let me craft our fire pit. Which I'm going to craft right here. Okay. And then left click to build it. And you're going to get a little time thing here. If you hit period, or if you click on this, it'll make it faster. Alright, now we have a fire pit. Next thing, we're going to go ahead and take these dogbane stems, and we're going to turn them into rope. So craft with, plant rope, and there we go. Okay. So, as a rope, they occupy way less space. And then our bedroll, it's kind of in the way, so we're going to place it down here next to our fire. We're going to do it again. Sometimes it kind of bugs out. There we go. So now we have a bedroll. It's out of our way, so our inventory space is much bigger. Okay. Now these chamomile flowers, I'm going to go ahead and open the fire pit, and I'm going to shove them into the heat dry area. That way they're out of our inventory. Alright, now, pine cones. We can right click those, craft with, and we can take the seeds out of them. And the seeds are actually a decent source of food. The one bad part about them is they dry you up a little bit, but they'll never be plagued out. So let's go ahead and eat those. And you can use the regular pine cones to start a fire. Now let's craft these guys. And we're going to go ahead and craft them into more rope. All right. Now, with all this rope, we can go ahead and start a stockpile by right-clicking and hitting Start Stockpile. Now it's not an inventory and it's nice and organized. I'm going to do the same thing with these rocks. That's a sandstone, sorry. Start a stockpile with the small stones. The sandstone we're going to use to polish things up. But I want one rock, and the reason I want one rock is because I'm going to take this large stone and I'm going to turn it into a bowl. Craft with, stone bowl, hammer. And I want the small stone so I'm not using my flint because my flint is very valuable. While my small stones are very easy to find. We're going to cook that cookie bowl right here for now. Okay, we're not going to use it quite yet. Now, I'm going to make myself 2 spears. 1 and 2. Alright. Now we have a way to defend ourselves should something come attack us. Stockpile of pine cones. Oh, this is considered water here. Interesting. All this area. Alright. What else do I got? Now, we are going to go and start stockpiling a little bit of firewood, and we're going to be looking for a specific type of tree. Now, you're going to notice these are called small trees. These you can readily chop down and turn into whatever you want. Small trees, not that valuable. They're easier to chop than the bigger trees, but of course they're going to give you much less material, so keep that in mind. I'm going to chop those down, and then we're going to go ahead and click on it again and turn that felled tree into some logs, which we're going to grab and bring back home. Now, to do anything with these logs, you have to place them. So we're going to hit left click. Can't place in water. That's going to be interesting. We might have to move our fire pit later on. And now that they're down here like this, with our axe in hand, we can chop them into firewood. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. And grab them and hold T. That's going to grab the rest. And we'll add this to the fire pit by hitting right mouse click. Now our fire pit has some firewood in it, ready to go. And let's do that one more time. Go ahead and chop this tree. Oh. There we go. Grab these guys, bring them towards us. Fortunately, we are very slow when we're holding this. All right. And we're going to go ahead and turn these into firewood as well. I'm not going to put them in the fire quite yet. What I am going to do is I'm going to make a firewood stockpile. And it's kind of going to be a little bit in the way, but honestly, I kind of want it near the fire. So right there. Boom, done. Now, all that stuff that got dropped on the ground when I cut that tree, we're going to go ahead and grab all of that. We're going to need all the sticks, we're going to need all the pine branches, we're going to need all of that. Okay. And we're going to create some stockpiles with that stuff as well. So stockpile of pine branches. I'm going to make a stockpile of pine branches. Stockpile of the large branches. Or large sticks. Long sticks. Words. Stockpile of the regular sticks. Oh. And the twigs I'm going to put over here near the fire because they're used as fire starting material. It should be fine right there. Okay. Now, I did talk about we needed to find a tree. What we're looking for is a young fir. So let's see if we can find one. That's a small tree. Fortunately, I think that because of where we settled, they're going to be a little bit far away. Let me look at the map. So maybe this way. Let's see. Let's see. That's a small tree. That's a small tree. Small tree. Oh, we're probably going to find it over here. Small, small, small. Okay, there we go. Young fir. So, small tree, young fir. The only difference is these kind of look a little bit less filled with branches. The reason why we want young trees rather than small trees is because we are going to use these as posts. Now, you can use the long sticks as posts. The problem with using the long sticks as posts is that they don't have a lot of height on the roof. And the problem with that is we won't be able to put our smoker underneath it. So we're going to go ahead and put our axe away, and control left click will allow us to pick that up. Now we are going to be very, very slow with this, unfortunately. But we only need 4 of them. Once we have these 4, we won't have to worry about doing this particular thing for a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and gather a bunch of these young trees, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I've gotten the 4 that I wanted, but it is one of the situations where you might be getting a little bit thirsty, maybe a little bit hungry, maybe a little bit tired while trying to hunt down these guys. So let's talk about actually dealing with water. So, do not drink the water straight from here. It's going to give you a lot of plague, and that's going to be a problem. So, you're going to want to make that bowl with that large stone. You go ahead over here, fill that bowl up with water. Go ahead and stick it up here in your fire pit, and now we're going to go ahead and start this. Okay. Now I found a piece of small flint. If you didn't find a piece of small flint, I believe you can still do this with a stone, but flint is better. It gives you a lot more chances of actually making it happen. We're going to go ahead and grab one of these pine branches. It's going to give you 5 in a stack. Craft those into pine leaves, because we're going to use the pine leaves as tinder. And then you can either use twigs, which I've saved here, or you could use pine cones, which I've saved here. I'm going to use the pine cones. Go to your fire. You're going to add the pine cones or the twigs. All right. You're going to add your tinder. And then you're going to go ahead and hit ignite. And your guy's going to try his best to start it up. Now, if your stuff is wet, like your flint is wet, your tinder is wet, your kindling is wet, you're going to have a chance to not start the fire. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and click on the fire. And we're going to click boil, and that's going to boil us some water. All right, that water is going to help us with our thirst, which is continuously going down. In our hunger, we can satiate it right now with some cured sausages. Let's go ahead and eat one of those. It's going to give us a little bit less hunger. Unfortunately, eating cured sausages does incur a thirst cost, but it's better than dying of hunger. I'm going to go ahead and right-click here. That's going to drop all these into that pine leaf stockpile that I've made. I'm going to make another pine cone stockpile, because when you pick the last one up, it will get rid of the stockpile. Right? And this is going to take a little bit to finish, so we're going to go ahead and leave that alone and grab a couple of things. So let's go to the stick stockpile here and drop that off. Right. Now, what else was I going to do? We could start going after clay, but that's going to be an issue. What I think I'm actually going to do is, it's going to ask us to find a large stone and make a food bowl. Large stone. Done. Already made the bowl, right? So it's going to ask you to hammer it into a bowl. Once I pick up this bowl for drinking water, this is going to get completed. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to cut this tree here and get us some more firewood. And some more materials that we're going to need to build the roof. Now you're going to see your stamina is going down here. Keep in mind, your stamina runs out, you're not going to be able to run very effectively, and you're not going to be able to fight very effectively. Right. Now, water's boiled. You can right-click and drink from here automatically, or you can put it in your hand. Important to note in this game, if you try to put things into your backpack that are not closed, it's going to tell you the contents will be emptied if placed in this slot. Okay? And it actually gives you a warning, I believe. Yep. Are you sure? Because it's going to empty it. I'm going to say no, because I don't want to empty it. It must be in your hand. You cannot put it in a chest. You cannot drop it on the ground. It must be in your hand or in the cooking surface. I'm going to go ahead and drink all. That's going to help us with our water. And as you noticed, because I did that, that mission ticked over. So now it's asking us to make a rabbit snare. Before I go start making a rabbit snare, I'm going to make some more water. Go ahead and fill that up. Your very first time, or your very first time of being in the game, you're going to spend dealing with water. That's going to change very quickly, though. Now we're going to make the rabbit snares it's asking us for. Now rabbit snares are going to require rope, so I'm going to grab some of the rope that we've already made. Already some progress being made, and I believe some small sticks. So go ahead and grab some small sticks. We're going to go ahead and craft with rabbit snares. Let's make, we'll make 2. We're going to go ahead and place them out here. I don't want to place them in the forest, because the problem with placing them in the forest is the deer tend to overpopulate the rabbits, and then you don't end up catching anything. That's kind of the bad part about settling in the forest. I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to put one around here. Okay. And then you just kind of have to walk away and hope that something gets caught in there. That's unfortunately how that works. Right. Now, we've done all that. It's asking us to do a charcoal pit. I'm actually not going to do that quite yet. I want to build the roof over our fire. Because if it rains, our fire is going to shut off, and then we're going to have no fire to protect us overnight. So go ahead and fill this up. Now, important to note, if it's getting, this is a deer right there. There's a bunch of deer here. I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at one of them. They're going to run away. We're not going to be able to catch them. So I'm not going to worry about that, but at least I'll put some damage into it. Oh, I missed, unfortunately. Okay. Now, we're going to want to put a roof over our lovely fire pit, because if not, it's going to get rained on. So let's go ahead and grab this. If you didn't find the 4 thin trunks, the 4 young trees that you needed, you can still do this with the long sticks, okay? You can still do this with this. It's still going to make a roof. It's better to do it with the logs because you get taller. But at least you'll have a roof over your fire. That way it won't turn off if it rains, okay? Go ahead and break these stockpiles. That way we have enough space. Actually going to pick this up as well here so it's not in the way. And that as well. And I might have to do that with this as well, just so that it's not occupying all the space. Okay, right click, build with, tall post, place. Let's place it, here should be fine. Okay, let's grab the other one. Now you might have been like, oh, you got rid of your respawn spot. There is no respawning in this game. If you die, you die. You have to reload your last save, okay? So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to try to put this post as far enough away from this post as I can, this one that's in red. You're going to notice that right now it's green outlined. The moment that it's too far away, it's going to turn off that outline. So right there. Go ahead and place that post. Grab another one. Build with, tall post. And I'm going to try to do the same thing here. That should be close. And let's grab the last post. Obviously, if you're doing this with a with the long sticks, this is much faster because you can hold those in your pockets. Now, unfortunately, I think that this stupid trunk is going to be in the way, which is kind of unfortunate. Oops. Yep. So I'm not going to get a full square shape, but I'll get close. Alright. Boom. Alright, we got the thin trunks. Now, to put a roof, we're going to need something to brace these things with. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on the ground again now that we've taken care of the ceiling situation. I'm going to grab these long sticks here. I believe it's 1 per brace. And then we're going to grab all these rope. We're going to need all the rope anyway. Okay? So, right click, build with. You're going to look down for stick support beams. Go ahead and place. If you're close enough, it's going to get the ingredients already in it automatically. If you're not, what it's going to do is it's going to turn yellow. It's going to give you a warning. Too far to automatically transfer building materials. Okay? Boom. Those are placed. We're going to go ahead and escape to get out of that menu, and then you're going to click on it because these have to be built. Okay. Now that the supports are on, we are going to need more long sticks or rafters. So I'm going to grab all the long sticks I have. Right click, build with, not raft, stick rafters. Okay. And there you go. Now, this is very tall, so it's going to tell me it's too far away. That's fine. Go ahead and click on it. Once you've clicked on it, you can click on it again, and it's going to allow you to add materials from inventory. Okay? So we still need 7 more long sticks. But I've already used all the rope that I needed to use, so I'm going to go ahead and start a stockpile with this and put the rope away. And where is large stockpile? Man, this is all water here. It's kind of unfortunate. Okay. So we're going to be looking for long sticks. That is not going to be a problem because if we hit Alt, you're going to notice there's a lot of long sticks everywhere. This is not an issue that we're going to run into. A long stick here, and here, and here, Hmm. See, this is my issue with the camera, right? So it does have the kind of ARPG top-down camera, but the transparencies aren't great. So, all right, what do we got here? What do we got? We should be close. There's another long stick there. No. Let's go over here. Grab that. Another one here. All right. So, boom. I think I should be able to fit this dog bait. Yeah, let's grab this dog bait while we're over here. Boom. And boom. Let's see if I can't hit. Nope. And he moved. I did hit him though. Now, if I'm able to hit him again, oh god. I hate that. If you do want to go straight into a attack animation, you can hold space, and it will do that. Okay, that one only hit for 19 because he was. I think my spear was already kind of busted up. But we've hit him a couple times, so there is a chance that later, if he swings by again and we hit him, we'll have some deer. My other spear's somewhere in there. I'm not going to look for it right now, though. What I am going to do is use my extra slots now to grab some more long sticks. Oh, there it is. Alright. So we're going to come over here. Scroll out. Click on it. Add from inventory. And then on that. And it's going to start to build. Now, you're going to notice I have a new thing going on here. It's called tired. The more tired you are, the less stamina, extra stamina you're going to have, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, I've built that. That technically means that now I have a second roof. It's going to see, you have floors here. You can click on this to see the second floor, or you can hit page up and page down to scroll between the floors. Okay? There you go. Now, to build a roof, we're going to need some pine leaves. You can build roofs out of other materials, but for right now, we need pine leaves. I'm going to start to stockpile these long sticks real quick. And now, let's process these really quick so I can stack them, because I can't stack them unless they're ropes. Alright, and then we're going to grab all the leaves that we have. We're going to go ahead and right click, build with, leaf roof, place. Boom. Now again, I'm pretty sure we're too far away to reach, so you're going to have to add from inventory, okay? We need a lot of pine branches and we're going to need some rope. Pine branches are easy because we can just cut trees, and we're going to need to cut trees anyway. So, I'm just trying to climb. He really, really wants to go after that, that spotted mushroom down there on the ground. All right. We've cut that one. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one here. Grab some more stuff off the ground. I'm holding T. That's why it's grabbing stuff so quickly. Remember that? You can hold T. And he's going to keep on going and try to grab as much as he can from everywhere around him. So I'm going to go ahead and page up. Add from inventory. That's the 17 we needed. So now that we don't need the rest, I'm going to stockpile them. Boom. There we go. Let's get rid of that real quick. Now I need rope. It was 9 ropes, so just 2 of these stacks should be more than enough. Add from inventory, and now we have to craft it. Boom. Now we have a roof. The important part about the roof is that now, if I go to build with, build with this, and I choose a smoke rack, it fits under the roof. If you do not do this tall roof, the smoke rack will not fit under the roof, and so your fire is very likely to get turned off if it rains, which you don't want, okay? Now, we've done all that. our guy is getting very tired. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some more firewood. We're going to add it to the fire by right-clicking. That's going to give us 8 hours of, actually it went all the way to 10 hours. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and go to sleep. Now, sleep is going to regenerate our health. We don't have a lot of health left. It's going to also regenerate our energy, which means it's going to help with our stamina. Okay. Now, before I go to sleep, I'm going to drink some water. And I'm going to collect some more water and leave it boiling. Let's be efficient about our time and use it wisely. So, I'm going to put this in here and boil. Okay. Now, go ahead and lie down. Some very important things to note. It's going to give you some information. Sunrise will be in 9 hours. When you start hearing the wolves, that's because the sun is already down, or you're at sunset. Okay, the wolves howling means don't go out away from your fire because there's going to be a lot more predators outside. Okay, sunrise will be in 9 hours. You need to sleep 8 hours to fully replenish your energy, that being this, and the nearby fire will last for 10 hours if it doesn't rain. Now, we put a roof over our head, so that doesn't matter. So go ahead and sleep, and that's going to regenerate our energy, and of course our food and water is going to go down. That's pretty obvious. Now, it's the morning, and it's going to tell you blight continues to spread. Remember, every time that you sleep over the day, or the day passes, blight is going to have spread a little bit. We're going to go ahead and click on here, just drink our water. Again, we're going to be efficient about it, so we're going to leave some water boiling while we leave and do other things. All right. And we're going to boil. All right. And that's the basics of setting up camp. Okay. So you have a fire, you have a roof over that fire. We are probably going to end up moving some of the stuff. I'm probably going to end up moving it to this patch area here, just because this log is going to be in the way. This rock is going to be in the way. It's not going to be great. So I'll probably end up moving it between episodes, moving all this stuff over here, and setting up the roof again and a couple other things. Okay. Now, you want a roof over your head because it's going to help you with dealing with rain. And I'm going to repair this spear here, because this deer is just kind of chilling here. And let me go ahead and hit him. And that was the deer we hit. He came back. Now he's down. And this will give us a chance to actually talk about what you're going to be doing with meat. Now, this is 3% infected. Every meat that you eat, rabbit, deer, boar, you can eat wolf meat, you can eat coyote meat, you can eat bear meat, all that stuff. They are all going to have infection. There's no way around it, right? The prey tends to have lower infection than the predators. Okay. Now, as of right now, there's not a lot we can do with the deer hide. And but there's something we can do with the deer meat, there's something to do with the intestines, and there's something we can do with the animal fat. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest the meat. I'm going to harvest one of the intestines, and I'm going to harvest the animal fat. Now, you need a good knife for this, which we do at the moment, and this is going to take time. Okay. So go ahead and let this guy do his thing. Now, unfortunately, food spoils very quickly. A little too quickly, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So just keep that in mind. Now, we have a cooking surface already because we made this bowl. Right? I'm going to drink what's left of the water. Right? And then we're going to empty the rest. And I'm going to go ahead and toss some stuff on there. First, let's craft with sausage casings. And this will allow you, if you right-click craft with, it's going to allow you to make raw sausage. Now, raw sausages, unfortunately, need raw ground meat, which you have to process, and it needs fat. We do not have a lot of fat. So I wanted to show you this process because it's something you can do later. When you craft this into ground meat, you're going to get 6 ground meat, and the rest is going to go to waste because you cannot cook the ground meat without it being in a sausage. So I'm not actually going to use this stuff just because of the fact that it would be a loss. I'm going to end up cooking this raw deer meat just on the fire by itself. So go ahead and toss those on there, and that's going to take 45 minutes. We do have an hour left of time remaining, so that's fine. We're going to go ahead and go for it. But yeah, that's going to be the essence of basic basic camp setup with a roof, with a campfire, set up your bed, and kind of some of the basic materials that you're going to be using a lot of. Okay, I'm going to go and grab this dog bag. In the next one, I'm going to set up the smoker, and we're going to expand this a little bit more. We're going to leave the center tall, that way we can fit 2 fires underneath with smokers, just in case we need the second fire. And then I'm going to expand the area around it, that way we have space for example, our bed underneath roof, and some of the other materials that I want to keep underneath a roof. You want to keep certain materials on the roof because if it does rain and you need them and they're wet, they can cause issues, okay? But that'll be it for today. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.